I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. This morning I have with me Temitope Ishola, historian and public affairs analyst, and of course Dr. Babatunde Babasoya, a medical consultant and public affairs analyst. Welcome on board this morning.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. Good morning to you. Let's start from the story that says there is no religious genocide or persecution in Nigeria. That's coming from the federal government. International bodies and of course members of this country are saying it appears Nigerians, or let me say Christians, are more attacked in this country, looking at the activities of bandits and terrorists. What do you make of the story, really?
I think the government is just insincere, as usual.
Okay.
You can't expect anything less when they put out statements like that. They obviously have to appear defensive and are protecting their own image, as it were. But I think figures and facts that have been thrown around lately, if true, indicate something is going on. So the life of every single individual matters. So, and in a situation where you're getting to find out that over 7,000 Christians are being killed, and over thousands of churches are being burnt in the northern area of Nigeria, then it begs to question that there's something wrong. It's different if it's just a one-off incident, but at that consistency with that figures, it means that there's a deliberate ploy by certain sections or certain individuals to exterminate Christians in the north. So rather than the government trying to absorb themselves of blame or pretend as if there is no issue, they should actually welcome such statistics and find out, institute an investigation to even find out what are the root cause. So it means that with the way they are even giving those responses, it means that they are not even aware, in quotes, I want to presume so. And it also means that they are not that bothered that certain citizens in that quantity, in that numbers, their lives are being threatened, some have lost their lives. So it just tells you a lot about how the government perceive security, how they basically function security-wise. So there's a lot to be questioned there. Initially, when I saw the news over last week into the weekend, I wasn't so sure, because over here in Nigeria, the media is quiet about it. It had to be individuals from the Bill Maher, or one of the TV pundits in the United States, was the first person to raise an alarm with regards to it. And what was it basically doing? It was comparing it with Palestine. Everyone is talking about Gaza, Israel's role and the likes. And it just brought the incident in Nigeria just to juxtapose it, that if there's an outcry in the magnitude it is on Israel, that's warranted countries to walk out on the Israel Prime Minister, the ongoing United Nations and General Assembly. And he said, okay, what is the difference between it and what is going on in Nigeria currently? And the media is quiet, and our own government is quiet, basically. So I believe that there's something going wrong. We can all trace it to Boko Haram, we can all trace it to terrorism and the likes, but I think government doesn't have a firm control of what is going on in the north. And because there's this media blackout sort of over there in the north, I'm sure these figures are even much more than this.
Okay, thank you. Let me turn to Doctor. Do you agree with that notion? Don't you think, Muslims and other religion adherents are also victims of the activities of terrorists and bandits?
I will say yes, I will say no. There are a lot of things to unpack here.
Okay.
Bill Maher was trying to put up a position, which, frankly, number one, what Israel is doing is being done by the state of Israel. It's the might of Israel that is doing it. Okay. In Nigeria, it is the incompetence of Nigeria government that is allowing this to happen. These are the two technical different things, very different. The state of Israel is committing genocide, attempting to wipe out the Palestinians so that they can move in, period. The people committing killing in the north as non-state actors. But, as I have said repeatedly here and otherwise, one of the areas where this President Tinubu had failed, abysmally failed, is in the constitution and in the effectiveness of his security people. By now, maybe I would have fired the 4th IG of police by now. It would not be Egbetokun. And Egbetokun's memory will have been so far distant that people will, when you mention his name, they will be like, Egbe what? Egbe what? I will say, they will be reminding you, it will be, because I will have fired him 6 months into my tenure. Immediately, there have been many cases where he should have been fired, but he was not fired.
Who said he ought to have left office?
I don't care whether he should have left office. I don't want him to leave office. I want him to be fired.
Okay.
To show that There is a consequence for you failing at that level. When the National Security Advisor came on air and said that God is going to punish people who are stealing weapons from the Nigerian armory, the next day that guy is gone. Those are not things that you do and you go home. You don't go home. You say it, they call you from there. Go to jail like Monopoly. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 pounds. Straightforward. Now, that should not be something that we should debate.
Okay.
The crisis from till now, Jonathan was the Chibok origin. Have we had a competent panel of inquiry to say this is where the problem came from? These were the people that were complicit. These were just incompetent people. These were just the victims. Till now, Jonathan's time. The attack on Kuje prison. For those, see, this is again, the press are complicit. There is nowhere you are going to interrogate this matter. We will put the press there. You see, don't forget that this is not the government of the United States talking. This is one man, a journalist in the United States.
What about the limitations of the press?
There is no limitation to the press.
Okay.
Until you put limitation in your presence, then there is no limitation. Nobody said you couldn't go to Kuje prison and run a documentary there.
What about safety?
Of who?
Of this pressman.
Which pressman?
Can you go with security, man?
When don't let me mention name.
Okay.
There are pressmen who had gone into Maiduguri, into Boko Haram. There are pressmen who had gone to interview what's that name? Dango Abidan, whatever his name is. They've gone there are pressmen who had gone into territories controlled in this country. And they had gone and they had come back and they had given us the transmission. This is what we went to do there.
The militant issue was high. We had pressmen going into the creeks.
To go and interview them to, well, what is your problem? We had that. These are not even pressmen attached to the conventional press houses. These are individual people who will just take camera, take this one, and put up something on internet, on YouTube, and then go there and say, we're going to bring your cases to Nigeria. We're going to say, what is your problem?
Let's tell your story.
We're going to tell your story. Tell your story yourself. Then they carry camera into the creeks. Do you know what it takes to go to the creeks? Even the Nigerian Navy is embarrassed to go to the creeks. And I don't care who is the commander, who is the admiral of the Nigerian Navy. I will see summarily. Army, summarily. I don't know what Tinubu is looking for. I don't know what he wants to achieve. I don't know where he wants his loyalty to lie. But in the area of security, if we are going to judge him on that area, the failure is abysmal.
And there's a reason why. And I think it's also expedient that we also clarify that. This is happening because he has prioritized the safety of himself over the safety of the country.
In what
so
sense? When
you have incompetent individuals that parade themselves around you as bootlickers, stooges, and you put them in the role of commanders of the security architecture of the country, their loyalty is to him, to protect him, to ensure there is no coup, there is no mutiny and the likes against him. That's what they prioritize as their official role. So if you check the IGP, anything that concerns the average masses, he does anyhow, but let him hear that you are standing up, you want to make a move, protest against the president. That's where you see all the bones in his body coming out.
Temi, let's really talk about it. I would love doctor to also weigh in on this matter before we move to another talking point. There are claims by some activists in this country that, this issue of insecurity has continued because of the influence of some international bodies unknown to the public. And now most of these people, from outside of country, outside of the Nigeria, are coming out to say, okay, insecurity is on the high, whereas we have some international persons, sponsoring some of these people's activities. Okay,
yeah, I admit there are truths to that, and I think I would put that on the basis of the facts coming out now. I'm trying to remember the name of the committee in the United States, in their Rep and Senate House, when they tried to dismantle USAID.
Okay.
So the dismantling of USAID exposed the fact that America funded Boko Haram, funded the formation of, I've forgotten the other rival militant terrorist group in Nigeria. They funded their establishment, they funded every single thing, because all of a sudden we saw that people that could not read English, that did not go to school, suddenly could undo I've forgotten the name. Is it this missile stuff that can attack a flight, a plane going overhead, And the equipment they were handling were basically equipment that were how would I put it? Even the military, in some ways, did not have them at their disposal at the magnitude at which these guys had them. And they had cash, a lot of cash in their hands. So already, it indicates that yes, there's a problem. It indicates that something was going on. So in some ways, because of the manner at which this government has also come in, I've always said, and I keep maintaining it throughout the electoral cycle the last time, I said, if someone emerges not on the base of the will of the people, he is not bound to honor any agreement with it. Because elections, politics is basically like a social contract where the people say, oh, we give you our votes, we take our authority and we vest it in your hands to undo it on our behalf. If you go into those places through the back door, through on external influences and the likes, you are beholden to the powers that be, you are beholden to the people that brought you there, and not to the people. And that was what's playing out today. Whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not, whether the media communicate it or not, we all went to school as most of us that went to school, and we've been taught how to at least know right from wrong. If you look at the basic information on ground during the election cycle, the Chicago issues, the FBI statement, you can already link a lot of things that the current president that we have is not totally beholden to Nigerian, but to other interests at play that ensured his emergence as the president. So it happens that all of those things, he would always revert to them in areas like this. And in the area of security, before he makes a move, all of those things are happening. And truly, the media plays, not even the media, the international scene, they have this sideways where they can cause problems and still be the same set of persons to come out and say, oh, there's a problem. So I know that there's that part in it. But at the same time, I don't want us always pointing fingers at the influences of these other individuals, because at the home front, I still feel you have a duty to your home country to ensure that lives are safe. I'm sure the reason why there's still this bit of calm is because the Southwest is a bit relaxed. And like I said, even this incident that popped up now, most of us don't even know the extent of what is going on in the North, because there's a sort of media blackout over there. So we don't even know what is really going on. And I'm just thankful that I'm in the South. But sadly also, I have people across the North and the likes. And there's always that constant worry. For instance, I can admit I've escaped a Boko Haram attack when I was in Kaduna. Just by 30 minutes, the park I left was blown up. So that's my up-close encounters with such individuals. So there's a lot going on, and the media did not even make noise about it. So international organizations have their own part, admittedly. The Nigerian government also has their own part, admittedly. So rather than, and international functions, an outsider will not come and rob your home if someone within your home did not open the doors to them.
Let me hear from Doctor. What's your take on that matter?
The conclusion is that until the wall opens its mouth, lizards cannot crawl into any crevice there. You know, so let's just agree that this government has insecurity as incompetence. Just exit. I'm not debating. This government has no capacity to sort out security in Nigeria. At federal, at state, at every level, the primary purpose of government by law shall be the welfare and the security of the lives and properties of the citizens. The primary duty of government shall be the security and welfare of lives and properties of the citizen, period. So every other thing that you do, you want to improve their life, quality of life, whatever. Those are secondary qualities. So when you now advance secondary qualities over primary qualities, common sense has left the window. It's straightforward. You just realize that common sense is no longer with you at that time. The primary purpose of human being is to be a human being. So when we now begin to try and see how we can do very well, working like dogs, there's a problem. That's why you know that those people that are trying to be dogs in America, there's a problem there. You see, because common sense dictates that there's a primary purpose to something. Government's primary purpose, security of lives and then properties, which are being lost purely in the east. You see, the one that you are talking about is in the south. In the east and the south now. Sorry, the north one we are talking about it. In the east and the south now, they are killing people too. But nobody is talking about it.
Even Kwara is like the center of attraction.
Everywhere they are going, they're killing people. You see, the problem is that in the north, the people that are committing problems in the north can never be south. They are going to be northerners. Either they are northerners in Nigerian extraction or northerners from across the border. So, if you are coming from across the border, you will speak Fufude, which is the traditional language of the Fulanis. You probably would like to speak Hausa, which is another language, the lingua franca in that neighborhood. So anybody that listens to you, we don't know which language you are speaking. We just know that you can speak Hausa. You can be a Tuareg, you can be a Nigerian, you can be a Chadian, you will speak Hausa. Now, if you are coming to kidnap people in Nigeria or to kill people in Nigeria, you come to Nigeria, the reporter, the people that you say, he spoke Hausa now. So we really don't know who speaks Hausa. They say, Yoruba said that all the lizards are lying prostate. You don't know the one that has belly ekidia. So everybody is speaking Hausa. Which one is the Hausa that is a Nigerian Hausa? However, there is a Controller General of Customs and Immigration in Nigeria who are to man the border. Instead of them to man the border, you see them here running after vehicles up and down here. That's where you see the common sense approach to governance. It is at an all-time low. Customs man the border. Whatever passes through the border is your responsibility. Customs will come to Nigeria and tell us that the border of Nigeria is so wide that you cannot man all of them effectively. Meanwhile, you are deploying people here. We are seeing them on the road. Oyo to Ife, you will see them. Lagos to Ibadan, you will see them. They will be running after vehicles. If your vehicle looks new and they think that they will run after you. Meanwhile, you are closing eye. We know where they sell all these vehicles that don't have papers in Nigeria. They didn't go there to arrest them. It is when you drive your own towards Shagam that they will stop you. They will collect your vehicle. They say you are driving a righty. End of the story. You will never see the vehicle again. That's what the customs are doing in Nigeria. If policemen come out now, they will see the IG. We don't have enough people. We don't have manpower. Half of the Nigerian police force have been allocated to guide anybody that has $2 to rub together. It doesn't matter the source of his wealth. Once he has enough money to buy a Hilux Jeep and to apply to the commissioner of police in the state for security, he gets security. And what do the securities do? They guide him. They ensure that when they are on the road and there is traffic jam, he will pull into the one way and then start to blast and rain. That's the job of policemen in Nigeria. You can imagine when that state senator at the Abuja sex toy shop. Remember that story? The senator at the Abuja sex toy shop, when after he had that said it's from Maiduguri, Boko Abi, Haru Abi, Yaru Abi. When after slapping the woman, after doing all that to the woman, you know what he told the policeman that was attached to him? He said, arrest her. For no just cause, a big man can tell the police officer that he has to arrest you. It is the same madness that entered the late Ajimobi when he was addressing students under the bridge in there. And that boy challenged him on the bridge and he said, who? He said, Egbe boy here for me. It is the madness that enters into the mind psyche of the people in Nigeria who are deemed themselves above the others, that the policemen answer to them. I have seen people where in Nigeria where people use these policemen to abuse, and the policeman will not say, sir, calm down. I am here to uphold the law. On this matter, please, let everybody just... A very sad situation. Let everybody just... So you see the security architecture in Nigeria, and I'm afraid, now everybody is saying, state police, state police, state police, state police, state police. The governors are already like gods in their state. You will give them state police. You will give state police. The governor in Ogun State now has gone to pull down a structure under litigation between the state of Ogun and the immediate past governor, who is currently a senator. So they pulled down the structure that belonged to the wife of the governor. Without any... The governor is claiming now that he has no idea. It was Tout that went to do the work. Tout had access to tractors, caterpillars, or whatnot. Tout had access to go to policemen, to get police so that they can get security. When Governor Similai Fubara was going to torpedo, was going to commit treason, by going to pull down the State House of Assembly. Treason, because under the doctrine of separation of power, no arm of government can interfere with the workings of the other arm of government. So you cannot go to court to say that they should not impeach you in the assembly. The court will not entertain your jurisdiction. No. The assembly cannot interfere with day-to-day running of the state, because that is the function of the executive. And the executive cannot interfere with the oversight of the assembly. Hello. Similarly, Fubara went to pull down the House of Assembly. He got policemen to follow him. The commissioner of police on that day is still commissioner of police. He has not been summarily stripped of rank. dishonorably discharged from the force, so that the next commissioner of police will have the sense to tell his governor,
A lot
"Sir,
to unpack about insecurity
I answer
in
to
this
the
country.
Constitution. I do not answer to you." So when Wike was governor in the same River State, and somebody was said to have committed one offense, and they sent people from Abuja to come and arrest that person, didn't Wike at middle of the night carry the commissioner of police in River State to go and cordon off that house and then chase the other people back? Didn't we see it? Didn't we see when the acting chief judge of Nigeria, somebody went to sign a stupid warrant? You forgot? When that lady, what's her name? The wife of governor of River State before, Odili, Justice Mary Odili, was then the most senior Supreme Court justice, making her the acting chief justice of Nigeria. Policemen went to her house with false warrants.
Okay.
After all said and done, when she now called the chief magistrate and said, "Did you sign the warrant for them to come to my house?" Because she had the number of the magistrate and they relate. It would not have happened to any normal Nigerian. And the chief said, "No, they didn't say it was your house." So that was when, but till today,
We need to move on from this topic. Really.
nobody remembered the person who went to that house now. No policeman have been paraded, have been sanctioned, have been taken to court. None. So in Nigeria, to use the fella's word, security men are unknown soldiers. Once they come, and if you see, this is not, don't let me finish this point. Let me finish this point. If you go on the street now, today, carry your camera crew, go on the express road. Every car that you see that has no plate number, no form of identification, is a security vehicle. Every car that you see. I have parked my car on Lagos Ibadan Express Road for 30 minutes, and I have counted. Not less than 50. They were all with blue and red light. They were all Hilux Jeep models. They were all Jeeps. And what happened to them? They had no plate number front, no plate number at the back. And they were driving recklessly up and down. I've seen some of them inside the Ibadan too. They go up and down recklessly. They had no number.
Doctor.
Now, if that car jams somebody, wounds somebody, where is the sense of justice? How do you say that's the car when it doesn't have a number? Now, the Nigerian police allows car. Now, nobody stops it. If you drive a car without number, from immigration that has no business, we stop you. Customs, we stop you. We are talking about security.
Definitely.
It is an embarrassment. This government has failed from the...
There's a lot to talk about.
So that they are killing people in the north. That girl that they killed in Sokoto, that girl that was preaching, Deborah, has anybody come to tell us this is where the investigation has reached?
It's an issue.
It is an issue.
Obvious. I mean,
has the press gone back to say, okay, let us even do a documentary there? No press organization in Nigeria. This is why I say that the Nigerian press organization, we are in cahoots with government.
No, I do not agree with that.
What don't you agree with?
I think it is hasty generalization.
No. Rex ipsa loquitur. The Latin people say the fact speaks for itself. There is no time.
The fact that some pressmen are not working do not mean that.
I'm not seeing the ones that are working.
Pressmen are not working.
I am not seeing the ones that are working. In this Oyo State, we had the bombing in Adeyi. We had the fire incidents in Challenge Market. The fire incident in Challenge Market is this close to the fire service center.
Okay, Doctor,
the fire service was not
move
deployed
from
there.
this topic so that we look at another
What happened to them
this morning? Okay, it's a lot to unpack about insecurity.
There's a lot to unpack. We will unpack it. You see,
later,
it is like we are inside a swampy area. We are carrying cake. We are beating the swamp. It will splash. Yours will splash to you. Government, yours will splash to government. And the people on the street, our own too, will splash to us. That's why we are here. We are not here to spare anybody. We are not here to look at Uche's face.
A good thing splash on us, Doctor.
If we do good things,
because it is Monday, yes. All right, let's talk about another issue. I have this one that says, Serap gives Tinubu 7 days to review selection process for new INEC chairman. Is it not the right time for us to begin to look at how the selection of this INEC chairman can be done maybe without the president? Because Nigerians are saying because the president is the one that is in charge of electing the INEC chairman, a lot of things would definitely go wrong in the 2027 general elections. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think the federal government hasn't shown that they can be trusted. And to the best of my understanding, I still believe that the appointment of the INEC chairman still comes from the president, I think with approval from the Senate as it were. But under this current government, there's a lot of worries that we have in the sense that in the elections that have been held in the last, say, 2 years, since 2023, INEC has shown that they are the electoral arm of the APC. And when I use the word electoral, I'm struggling with words, so that's the best way I can just use. Meaning they are an arm, they are a directorate of the APC, basically. So you see a situation whereby, look at the Edo election, there's no reason why the current element that is appointed or announced as the governor should be governor in any case. The governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, his first term, there was no basis, there was no reason why he should come in also into that place. Like both the INEC and the judiciary has been lumped up together that you can't even see any difference. You can't even distinguish between the government functions and them also how they operate. So that is going to be a cause for concern going into the next election cycle. And the selection of the INEC chairman is going to let us know if they can be trusted enough. Because let's not forget that INEC has betrayed the trust of all Nigerians. In the last election cycle, you said you were going to use beavers. Okay. You touted it, you did the PR stunts, you moved around, you raised the hopes of Nigerians that we're going to have a free and fair election, and only for us to get to election day, you switched off the server. And we're giving us ridiculous excuses, technical glitches. And in this country, there was no consequences for it. That you collected billions of naira, both from the Nigerian government and external government or organizations, to conduct an election of that magnitude and with the purpose for which they were meant to use it. And you come out just less than 24 hours, and we're having question marks. So what were they doing throughout the years, the months leading to the election day? It was very clear that there was sabotage from within INEC. We've seen Wike's attitude also in influencing INEC commissioners being appointed, his cousins and the likes. We've also seen the attitude of the Lagos State INEC commissioner also, Mr. Shegun also. These are people that they let you know that, see, we are doing the wrong thing and there's nothing you can do about it.
Should the president still choose the INEC chairman?
Based on what, except the law, the statutes are changed. What is obtainable over time will still be what would happen right now. So if there needs to be change in that, I believe the laws maybe have to be adjusted to give that authority to the Senate. But let's not also forget that we have a rubber stamp Senate that does the bidding of the president. All the president needs to do is just express his desire, and the Senate president would run helter-skelter to get it done for him. So I don't have faith in Senate to even say they want to do anything. So I can only hope that the same way Jonathan appointed Jega and Jega still went ahead and conducted an election, that Jonathan didn't enter, even though we new information shows that Jega was also in the mix with a lot of sabotage and the likes. But at least it's possible that you can appoint a chairman and the chairman still goes ahead to conduct an election that you might lose. Okay,
let me turn to Doctor now. Doctor, appointing the INEC chairman, how far has it helped us in the elections, conducting of elections in Nigeria? And should we begin to look at how we can make sure that the INEC chairman is not a puppet to the ruling government?
You see, the problem is that there is no how. No how that's going to happen. You can see the American example now playing out. Okay. Trump is, everybody watching the election, we all saw that even if demons came to vote, they would never have voted for Trump. How did Trump get to the presidency? Twice. It's the second time that he's running now. He did the first time, they removed him. He came. This was a guy that was about to be sentenced to jail, and then suddenly he was returned. So sometimes when American people, when they come out and bring police and say, shut up, go back to your house. We know we are corrupt here. You are fantastically corrupt there. What are you talking about? How did you get that kind of clown? Tinubu, of course, now Tinubu to have supporters now, but Tinubu could not have been as bad as. He's not as bad as in Nigeria. Trump would never have won the state election, not talk of a federal election. But that guy is the president, and you can see every time that he appoints somebody, he appoints a case. You can see that as much as we tend to hype Americans because of American film, because of American characters, because of heroes in American histories, we forget that there are, of course, a whole army of sycophants, nincompoops, scallywags, and frank idiots in America. And also Trump is bringing those ones now to the fore. So rather than an Obama, we are seeing a Trump. Rather than people that has correct head.
But I would also
We are seeing them.
Based on that view, I think the problem actually in America is even the Obamas and the likes. They've captured the media, which I feel is what Tinubu is using in Nigeria. Is a very good organizational plan template to capture the imaginations of a country and do your bidding, but portray yourself as if you're a good person. Anybody that champions same-sex marriage, violation of children to have surgery at less than age 10 to change their body parts, sponsors and terrorism and the likes, I don't take them serious. Any country that religion is being trampled upon, suppressed, and the likes, which is basically the core of the Democrats in America. Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the likes. And I keep saying it, God save the whole world with the emergence of Trump. And it turns out that everything we think Trump has done that is even wrong and the likes, turns out not to be so. Because largely the media has already weaponized, the Democrats has weaponized the media. So an average person that has never met Trump, and that happened to a friend of mine that I still spoke to recently, and she was saying, Trump is evil, Trump is this, Trump, and I was like, okay, hold on. Have you heard him speak? No. Have you listened to him? No. So how do you know he's from? And they said this, and that's how I was, like some 6 months, 8 months thereabout. Sorry, sir. Until I went back and checked, and I realized that everything this man has said is just the sensible thing. Guard your country. Yes, guard your country. Don't allow individuals to migrate into your borders without being unchecked. Okay. Let children be children. Don't indoctrinate them with religion or any ideology. Let parents have a say in how their children are being taught. These are things that the Democrats have not allowed in America.
Doctor has a counter opinion.
Yeah. So that's because I had to bring that up because when it went the way of Trump and the likes, I can already tell that most of these views are largely formed by what we have heard over time. But I feel that, and which is my challenge to everyone, both on Nigeria and America, when issues like this pop up, let's take that pain a little again to dig a little further, because truly, when the media has been captured, which is another problem in the Nigerian front, why a lot of things that are happening we don't even seem to know, is because to a reasonable extent, whether we like it or not, the media has been captured. Gone are the days where the media was largely independent and like there are a lot of vested interest in the media today.
Can you respond?
Yes.
Okay. We started with Nigeria.
Yeah,
so
I know we just.
I don't know how
I know we did. I just did that
the
too.
politics of it.
It's just unfortunate that unless you sit down with Trump, and then you listen to him. Well, I mean, for people who have not, just go and listen to him on the United Nations broadcast, the one that he did, the most recent broadcast, and then see whether he makes sense or he doesn't. And then from there, we can then interrogate where we are going or what we are going to do. I don't care what the policy of the Republican Party, even the Republican Party, when he removed Kimmel as when he interfered with the freedom of with the first right of amendment to speak in America, and he asked that the FCC removed Kimmel. Now that the FCC has not removed Kimmel, he has gone back to now start harassing the FCC. Now he has put suits against New York Times. This was a man that was going to jail. I mean, you cannot say a man that has been pronounced guilty by a competent court of jurisdiction in anybody's crime, as bad as Nigerian courts are. If you are pronounced guilty by our court here, then there's a problem. You cannot come out and say something is not right. You are guilty here, you are sentenced, and then you are elected to the presidency. And then all these things now were temporized so that you could go and become president, because that's the will of the people. They had a governor in Nigeria too who did that. One governor in Abia said that time he was in jail in Lagos, he was elected, and then he was brought back to become governor. That's how life used to be. So, but Tinubu, an election. In America, is the civil service that organizes the election. Can we trust the civil service to organize the Nigerian election? Over my dead body. The civil service cannot even run the government properly. So I'm not putting that in their domain. This one that INEC is doing, the president shall appoint the chairman. The Senate shall confirm him.
Okay.
Now, the president can appoint his friend. The Senate shall confirm the friend. If the Senate decides to confirm the friend, it is all a collective problem. You understand? Now, the problem that we have is that this Senate, we've not had. The Senate, the last time we had a good Senate in Nigeria was during Obasanjo's tenure. when he wanted Totam.
But what is going on actually? Because according to INEC, this particular Senate that came into this administration 2023,
The Akpabio-led Senate.
we had about 8 political parties, that make up the entire seat. The same thing for the House of Representatives, about 9 political parties.
Yes.
So what is going wrong?
There is nothing that is going wrong. What you see, this is what usually is going to happen.
Okay.
It is not a behemoth. PDP, APC, they are behemoths. They are national party. In America, you see Democrats and Republicans. There are independents. There are other. So there are smaller parties. You don't know them, but they are there.
They exist.
They exist. They don't go into the national things. They do state, they do county, they do whatever they want to do. They don't do national. Okay. We should need to start rearranging the law. When Peter Obi wanted to contest the 2023 elections and he went to Labour Party, I knew he would lose. You know why? We know it was obvious reading it from afar that there are 774 local governments in Nigeria. 774. So that makes it around 200,000 polling booths, 180-something thousand plus polling booths, what you need to cover. Labour did not have the capacity to field 2 agents across all the 180-something thousand polling booths in Nigeria. They didn't have it. In some centers, it was a PDP agent that was acted. They took somebody from PDP or APC, depending on the winning side, to come and act there. Where Obi got 100% of the vote were all Southeast states. All Southeast. Unfortunately, by getting 100% of the vote in Southeast states, he removed that vote from PDP. That was a calculation that Atiku did not calculate when he was fighting the governor, this G5, G6 governor, when they said he should remove Iyosha Ayu as the chairman of national chairman of PDP. When he was doing this political calculation, he did not factor in that the East, that usually vote for PDP, normally would go and vote somebody else. Unfortunately for the PDP calculation, Obi came into the race. Obi got ticket. Obi pulled the East out of the Nigerian calculation. Once that was done, go to the North and look at it. Atiku won Northeast. He was coming here. When he got to Kano, Kwakwanso won 1 million in Kano. Obi got 500,000 votes in Kano. The margin between Tinubu's vote in Kano and Atiku's vote in Kano was enough to overwrite all the winning positions that Atiku had from the Northeast. And Obi just went ahead to sweep the remaining part, which is why now Kwakwanso and Atiku and Tinubu. So the 2027 election be guarantee that 1.5 million vote lockdown in APC. What I will not say about Tinubu, he might not have done well for security. Politically, that guy can see. If they play politics like chess,
A1 politics, okay. F9 government.
If they play politics like chess, that guy will defeat Magnus Carlsen any day of the week.
Speaking about politics, let's quickly link this to the issue of Pegasus and Dangote going on in the country at the moment. Now, let me start with you, Temitope. I have the headline that says, government steps in to resolve all union Dangote refinery rule. Labour Minister facilitate meeting between parties today. Pegasus is saying we are going to stop supply.
They stopped that thing.
To Dangote.
They stopped it yesterday now.
And then they are saying they are embarking on strike, since yesterday.
And what are they striking about again?
Because Dangote sacked about 800 workers.
1,200 thereabouts.
Some are saying, some reporters are saying about 800 workers.
He said he restructured his company. What is the problem now?
So this is the thing. Looking at this case, when I read through it and followed it, there's an issue, and I think the law also needs to be very clear. I hope this incident also, because I feel this incident is going to be a basis for resolving subsequent issues like this moving on. A private entity, Dangote, doesn't want his workers to be members of the union. But because they are working in a sector that is heavily dominated by the government, by union also, Pegasus says no, that they want the rights of these workers to be covered also by them joining the union. So that's the crux of the matter. So Dangote is firm that he doesn't want it. And they've been going back and forth on this like for almost a month thereabout, with the federal government trying to intervene and the like, and there was nothing clear on it up until last week when I think more than half of the majority of the workers of Dangote refinery voted to join Pegasus. And less than 24 hours later, the memorandum came out from Dangote stating that they've sacked 1,200 plus workers, Nigerian workers, and cited the reorganization of the company and the likes to facilitate that. So I believe all of this is interwoven. So it's left to be seen how federal government is going to do this time around, because at this point it's clear that federal government has to intervene.
Let me turn to Doctor now before we go, because of time. How best can federal government handle this whole matter? Because there was a case with Nupeng too, just recently, really.
You see all these things that we're talking about, we are not going to progress in this country, ever. Ever.
Why?
You see, did NITEL progress with the unions? Did they progress? But when the service providers came to Nigeria, all the things that we didn't enjoy during NITEL, if it is NITEL time, do you think you will be broadcasting this thing on YouTube, or people will be watching you from their phone? Did we have a phone during NITEL time? NEPA, did we have anything to say during NEPA's time? Compare NEPA to now. It's the only part of the energy process in Nigeria that is causing problem till today is the Transmission Corporation of Nigeria, the one that is manned by government under the union leaderships. TCN is the only one that cannot upgrade its system to use more than the 4,000 megawatts of electricity that they have been using since. If you move it by 1 megawatt, they will say grid collapse. Every time there's a grid collapse. But the disco, meanwhile, to offset that problem, the federal government is paying the GENCOs the balance between the energy that is produced and the energy that is transferred. So they are paying subsidy to GENCOs because the TCN cannot function and government cannot move against them.
Is there a solution to all of this?
Fire the bloody TCN and get it out of the way and put it under bureau of privatization. Okay. Let somebody buy it up. Okay. And then let this union come. The same. This is that what when Dangote was building $20 billion refinery, Pengasan, Nupeng, they were taking check dues from their worker to do exactly what? Nothing. Okay. So when you joined this company, let us bring it home. When you joined this company, did Ratawu come here?
It's a conversation that will definitely continue.
No.
Because of time, Doctor, we need to go.
When the Nigerian Union of Teachers, I have said it here before.
Okay.
The union that is in charge of Nigerian Union of Teachers is the Nigerian Union of Teachers. The one for principal are the ANCOPs.
We'll come back to
all the private schools in Nigeria are not under AUT. They are not under ANCOPs. All the private universities in Nigeria are not under ASU. All the private things in Nigeria are not under. So suddenly, because of the money, because we know that. Do you know that they collect per tanker that loads at the gantry per tanker? So this is the same Pengasan that came to tell us sometimes this year.
Okay.
Last year during Buhari's tenure that the Port Harcourt refinery was functioning and they were lifting fuel. They told us. Even the president of the Tanker Association, Gilly Harris, he came to tell us that they are all lifting fuel.
Doctor, a meeting is going to happen today between the federal government, the leadership of Dangote, and of course the leadership of Pengasan. So let's expect the outcome.
That they tell Pengasan to go home and shut up.
Okay.
Permanently.
Okay.
Because you cannot ask me.
Let's see how it will play out, Doctor.
We need to go. I cannot buy 4,000 trucks into this country and put them 6 person per truck to monitor, to drive, to service. That's 24,000 jobs. And then you now come and you now tell me that all those people, they will now be at the... Somebody can just call a strike somewhere and then they must follow them.
All right. It's a fine place to leave it this morning. The conversation will continue. Big thanks to Temitope Eshola for joining the conversation. And of course, Dr. Babatunde Babasoye. Sometimes when it comes to the issues of politics, we're allowed to disagree, sometimes agree.
Absolutely.
It's a fine place to leave it. Thank you for being a part of the segment. Please stay with us. Big story may come up soon. And Samson Balogun is waiting. We'll be right back.